An apparently innocent Facebook comment was the beginning of it, but things swiftly got much worse. Richard Jones had always been wary of his partner, but jealousy and suspicions had made him more and more insecure over time. He found a comment from another man one day while browsing Charletta Pritchett's social media account. Richard's biggest worries were sparked by a message that seemed harmless and easy, but it was actually a spark. His emotions went out of control since he was certain that this was proof of betrayal. Richard, unable to control his rage, approached Charletta and demanded explanations. What started out as a disagreement over a pointless social media exchange quickly descended into violence. In a moment of unrestrained rage, Jones killed her in the most horrific way imaginable because he was driven by envy and a thirst for power. Their loved ones were devastated and their lives were cut much too short by a terrible act that was sparked by a message on a screen. Before we begin this video, we would like to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who were severely affected by this horrible crime. We would also like to send condolences to Charletta's family and friends. Today's case takes us to Hammond. Hammond is a city located in northwestern Indiana, near the Illinois border and part of the greater Chicago metropolitan area. The city has a population of around 76,000 residents. Hammond is historically known for its steel industry and manufacturing roots as part of the broader industrial belt around Chicago. Other things Hammond boasts about include the second largest police memorial and being home to the George H. Hammond Company meatpacking plant, exemplifying its rich cultural and historical history. Born in Princeton on February 3, 1987, Charletta Geneva Pritchett, 34, of Hammond, was the daughter of the late Richard Rap I Pritchett and Demona Taylor Flowers. She was employed by Albany's confectionery as a quality control technician. Charletta enjoyed cooking and was a hard worker. She cherished her dog, Sug. She had a lot of energy, was humorous, and was a natural leader. She was outspoken, didn't put up with foolishness, and didn't back down from what she believed to be correct. She was an unconditional lover and always meant what she said. She had a deep love for her family and a unique connection with her brother George. She was an outdoorsy girl who liked to get her hands dirty, as well as have her nails and hair done. Charletta was humorous, friendly, affectionate, and talkative. She was a partner in crime and the life of the party. The 10-year relationship between Charletta Pritchett and Richard Jones had seen its fair share of highs and lows. They did not have children together, but Jones had 3 additional children while Charletta had none. Everything was great at first when they moved it together. What was first a deep, emotional bond gradually gave way to the cozy routine of everyday existence. They had created a life together that most people would be envious of, based on shared dreams. However, under the surface, unresolved conflicts had begun to weaken their mutual confidence. Both partners had been guilty of infidelity at various times during their relationship, and it had become a recurrent problem. Every time, they pledged to mend, to forgive, and to go on, but the hurt was severe and the feeling of betrayal persisted. Despite their intense love for one another, their relationship grew more strained with each transgression. At this turning point in their relationship, Pritchett and Jones began to wonder if love alone could withstand the constant betrayals of confidence or if their 10 years of dating had finally come to an end. On January 22, 2022, authorities were summoned to the 900 block of Bower Street in Hammond, where they encountered Jones' mother outside. The mother claimed that during their argument with Pritchett, Jones called her. She claimed not to have heard a shot and to be unaware of her injuries. Court documents state that Pritchett was discovered on the floor in a bedroom in the back. She sustained injuries to her right wrist and left temple area in addition to a bullet injury to her right breast. Her arms were also bruised. At the time of the shooting, 3 youngsters and the Jones children were in separate rooms. Jones and his kids left the scene before the cops could arrive. Later on, Jones came home by himself. On January 2022, Jones had gone out with relatives to play pool earlier that night, according to charge documents, when he observed a man commenting on Pritchett's Facebook page on the way home. According to a probable cause affidavit, he contacted Pritchett on his way home and got into an altercation with her after seeing another man remark on one of her Facebook posts. When he arrived at his and Pritchett's home on the 900 block of Bower Street, he noticed one of his children playing a computer game in the living room, while the other two were using computers in adjoining bedrooms. Pritchett was in their bedroom putting her clothes and said she was going to sleep in the car. They resumed their disagreement, and Pritchett held a revolver in her hand, saying she didn't want Jones to beat her. According to records, the debate immediately heated up as Pritchett accused his relative of rape, claiming Jones had some guilt because he drove her to the man's house. Jones informed her that he had heard similar allegations about the cousin but wasn't sure who to believe, according to records. "You're not going to hit me like you did before," she said, according to the allegations. When the argument got heated, Jones pulled out a pistol, shot Pritchett, and then he called his mother. Jones called his mother and put her on speakerphone while they were fighting. According to the records, his mother instructed him to walk away and leave it alone before Jones hung up. He added that when the incident took place, his children were inside the house. His kids were 9, 11, and 16. As soon as his mother arrived, Jones and his 3 kids left the house. Pritchett had died by the time Jones' mother dialed 911. Approximately 3:15 a.m., he called his mother again and reported that Pritchett had been shot. He called for his mother to come over. Pritchett was motionless when she got there. Records stated that the mother dialed 911. Jones's mother was waiting for the police, so he brought his 3 kids to their mother's residence. Later, the dining room and bedroom were discovered to contain 2 bullet casings. Jones subsequently acknowledged, according to the accusations, that he was angry about what had happened and had fired a second shot at the dining area wall. Jones was charged with murder and domestic battery.
A fund has been set up for a Princeton native killed in northwest Indiana a couple of weeks ago. According to an affidavit, 34-year-old Charletta Pritchett died in Hammond after being shot on January 23rd. Authorities say her boyfriend of 10 years, Richard Jones, is accused of firing the gun during an argument. He's facing murder and domestic battery charges. Officials at Colvin Funeral Home say a fund has been set up there to help cover the cost of the funeral. Funeral arrangements are pending.
A plea bargain said that Richard Jones, 44, would have his murder and domestic violence charges reduced in return for admitting guilty to voluntary manslaughter, a Level 2 felony. Level 2 offenses can result in a sentence of 10 to 30 years in prison. Even though the content of the message and the specifics of the rape charges remain unknown, it is crucial to know when to leave, particularly if you feel that things are getting worse, in order to avoid going to prison for something that might have been prevented. As the family deals with Charletta Pritchett's untimely death, we send them our best wishes for comfort and fortitude. If you would like to stay updated with this type of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the following video.